Hey everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video series. In this video series, we're going to learn about one cybersecurity tool, and that is Splunk. In this video series, we're going to start with the beginner level information and we'll go to the advanced level skill set that we can get from this tool. This is an industry leading tool, so I would just build the building blocks for this tool step by step in different videos, and then we're going to take this series to advanced level. So I would suggest you guys to just stick around so that we can learn more about this tool. And also in upcoming videos, we're going to start our demo starting from installation of Splunk to advanced level cybersecurity projects that we can expect from this tool or that the industry is using this Splunk as. All right. So before we actually jump into the actual Splunk videos, I'd like to introduce myself. Again, my name is Indamam and I'm a cybersecurity specialist. I have different experience in different IT domains, including cybersecurity infrastructure and cloud and all of those data scientist subjects. But right now, I'm working as a cybersecurity specialist. I'm master's in cybersecurity and information insurance as well. I do have more advanced level certifications in Splunk as well as in other vendors. So in Splunk, I have architect certification, security admin, and enterprise security, and code security consultant, as well as I do have CAS plus CompTIA certification, that is a certified advanced security practitioner. All right, so before I jump into the objectives of this video, I'd like to talk about some fundamental of the Splunk action. So Splunk works on logs that we can get from different sources. And what is log? Log is just like a digital footprint of any activity on any computer that I would say any computer or any IoTs or any network device or anything that generates a digital footprints of any of the activities that can be performed on that device that generates a log. And logs, Splunk use those logs to run different queries analysis on that. And based on that, we just get those things to be looked at, or I would say just to analyze the things in this tool. So why do we even need this tool? It's just because, for example, if we have a enterprise level infrastructure, instead of us going to each and every machine and read the logs, so we can bring just a log to one central position, and then we can analyze whatever analysis we want to run on those logs. We can generate reports or anything based on any activity, and on our utilization, we can do so in this tool. So in this video, we are going to learn about Splunk as a cybersecurity tool, then how Splunk works, and Splunk Architect. In the upcoming slide, I'll show you how all of these things laid out. So introduction to Splunk. So Splunk is a SIEM solution, means it has all the capabilities that we can perform on all the logs. We can collect the logs, we can analyze the logs, and then we can correlate that data to any sort of reporting. So for example, if we talk about the logs related to security in Windows machines. So for example, if we want to analyze, like we have 100 machines in our environment and we want to analyze those logs, like, okay, I want to see that, okay, how many users in logged in last 3 days. So what I would do is just, create the report in Splunk. So Splunk is just like a SIEM solution, security incident and event management tool. Let's just put it this way. And also it's unified visibility and threat detections. Means Splunk serve as a central repository for security events, logs, data sources, providing unified visibility into entire infrastructure. So this means, like, we bring the data and we bring that on concentrated, I would say in centric position, then we can have our visibility and threat detection perform on the events that we got from our sources or the logs or the any tool that provided us those logs. We can perform our visibility and threat detection analysis on those logs. So it's another form of utility that we can perform with this tool. But don't worry, I'll be sharing all of those information in details in upcoming videos and of course in upcoming slides as well. And of course, incident advanced analytics for incident response teams. So, for example, let me explain this in a way that, you know, we get Windows events, or we get login events from Windows machine, right? On any of the, like, we get Windows events from the machine, and we send those events to Splunk to analyze, and we can set our detection. Like, we can generate our correlation searches. When I say correlation searches, means we can create detection. That's Splunk tool to alert us on the logins that we do not expect from that machine. So it's just like it's enabling us the incident handling in an efficient way, and then that way we can investigate those events, and that's what we do, and then we can respond based on our playbooks or whatnot. You know, what do you expect from that incident? If it's a false positive, true positive, how do you want to investigate a response to that incident? So this is one of the great feature of this tool. Of course, I mean, this tool has many features. I would say, I mean, this is industry best, biggest tool in the industry and the entire world. But since I'm going to talk about just a security perspective of this tool, so I would be just sitting around that area. Now, how Splunk works, right? What is the utility in security? Like, how Splunk is being used in the industry as a security posture or security suite? So, data ingestion. So, what happens? So, we, of course, from the different sources, we get the data, then we send that data to Splunk to analyze. So, that means we collect the data from the sources. The source can be Windows machine, any infrastructure, IoTs, Internet of Devices, and we can have network devices, any sensors or any industrial data that we can ingest. We ingest the data to Splunk to analyze that. And then once we, for example, once we ingest the data from sources, then we need some sort of infrastructure to handle that data. I mean, where is that data going to be, yeah, of course. So we can have that data collection indexed and analyzed in real time. So, for example, doing rapid searches and correlation to uncover the pattern anomalies and security incidents. So we get the data, then we store the data, index the data, we analyze based on an indexion, and then we can perform a visualization, or you can say action on the data. So, for example, if we get a data for an industrial instrument that is critical in that environment, maybe some production, I would say some production machine that's being used to produce company's business. I mean, if we can get, critical health related events in the Splunk, we can get insight to that, and we can empower our user to get insight to perform proactive action based on the risk of that machine, or I would say that device that is being used in industry to run that business. So, I would say 3-layer approach: ingest the data, and first collect the data, index the data, then run visualization on that data. And Splunk Architect. So it would be the same thing. Collection tier. Collection tier is a tier where we collect the data from different sources. So, for example, if we have a Windows machine, Linux server, we have network devices, firewalls, or any sort of data type, or we can use hack token as well, HTTP event collector to collect the data from different sources. So that's going to be considered as a collection tier. So this part of Splunk responsible for collecting the data from different sources and sending it to the indexing tier. So indexing tier is the next tier that we're going to talk about. Indexing tier is a place where we store the data, index the data, and we get the data from collection tier. We cook the data, and we just plan the data into small events, or however we want to just store that on our database server. And in Splunk language, we call them as indexing tier. So we collect the data on indexing tier based on different events that we collected from our collection tier. So now we have the collection tier. We store the data. Now we want to query that data. Means we want to search our respective requirements in that data. So that's going to be our next tier, and that is a search tier. This Splunk search tier is fundamental part of Splunk architecture, responsible for running queries, retrieving the data from index source, of course, the second tier, and presenting results to the user. User is the one who's sitting in front of the Splunk and running the searches. And that means, so for example, if in your enterprise environment, if you have more than 1,000 servers in your environment, this is a big environment, right? If I'm an analyst, I'm sitting there to analyze the security events. I don't need to log into each and every server to just see the logs based on each user's activity. What I can do, I can collect the data, I can index the data, then I can have one queue to just run queries on the data. So that way, I don't need to actually log into each and every server. What I would do, I would just, run the search on a Splunk and just, get whatever I want to do. And don't worry about that. I'll be showing all of these things in details. We're going to build building blocks based on this. So don't worry. I know this could be a theory in this video, but I'll be showing you each and everything in upcoming videos. I know I'm good at demos. I'm not going to make this video more longer than expected. We'll be running, we'll be storing, we'll be doing everything on this tool. So I'll be taking you guys from beginner level to an advanced level skill set. And yeah, this is a technically representation of the data. Like we use forwarders. This is a technical term, agent that will install on different sources. We can have network inputs and hack tokens, HTTP event collector that we can use. Then we can send the data to indexers where we store the data. Then we'll have a search head. Search head is an instance. So I would say a server that queries indexers, and indexers save the data from these sources. So we have basic layout of this architect, how Splunk works. So Splunk collect the data, store the data, and let other server to query the data. So it's 3-layer basic fundamental approach in Splunk. So yeah, over here, I have the different links. I'll put the links in the video as well. If you guys want to just follow along, or you guys can just go to this link to check different architecture level. So what I just showed in my previous video, this is going to be very basic building block for the Splunk Architect. There can be clustered environment, there can be scalability environment as well. There can be multi-site clustering, data recovery site clustering. So we're gonna talk about in our advanced level skill set, but this is the fundamental thing that we're gonna talk about in this video series and upcoming videos. Of course, the links. All right, so I guess that was just a little introduction to this tool. And in the next upcoming video, I would say that we're going to install Splunk as a basic infrastructure, and then we're going to start building our fundamental blocks, like, running some queries, just getting familiar with the Splunk tool itself. Then we're going to build our use cases in cybersecurity, and I'll be showing you guys how you can run your threat intelligence, your threat hunting, your queries, your different use cases, anything that we can expect from Splunk in cybersecurity field. I'll be showing you guys all of those things. All right, I guess that's it for today's video. If you guys have any question, feel free to send me those questions in the comment section. I'll be answering those questions. Again, in the next video, we're going to start installing our Splunk. That will be more towards our demo of that, I think. All right. Thank you very much, guys.